think you take your time, you see what he does this year, and you move forward from there. I'm pleased with what we've seen. I'm pleased with the progress, particularly in the second half of the season, which I gave him credit for last year. But in the end, am I sold on him yet? No.
Well, do the Browns believe in Baker Mayfield? I think the answer is yes, they believe in him. They have a vested interest in believing him because they invested the #1 overall pick in the draft in him, so they're going to let him fail before they move on. But he had a really, really good year. I know he's on a loaded team. You know who else was on a loaded team last year? Tom Brady. And while Tom Brady was coming to a new team, Baker Mayfield, almost every year of his career, is kind of coming to a new team. You know, he doesn't have to move and get to know a new city and everything, but every year of his career, new head coach. At one point, in a little over 2 seasons, in 2 seasons and 1 game, he played for 4 different head coaches. So, of course, we didn't know how to gauge him. Is he any good? We don't know. Then he got a head coach and some stability, and he balled out. By the way, did he have more weapons than Tom Brady? Oh, Brady had a lot of weapons. Maybe if anyone had more, I don't know. They both had a lot of weapons. Probably Brady had more. Do you know in the QBR leaders of last year, we were just talking about Derek Carr, what a fine season Derek Carr had? He was 11th in QBR. You know who was 10th? Baker Mayfield, just behind Tom Brady, who was 9th. Baker had that kind of season. Now, in the playoffs, he didn't have that kind of season, though he did win his wild card game against divisional big brother Pittsburgh Steelers. They lost to Kansas City. And this is before Kansas City had no offensive line at all, and it was a 1-score game. So do they believe in Baker Mayfield? Stephen A., the whole idea that Baker was going to be some special quarterback who could overcome and lift up a team, I don't think people are thinking like that anymore. But the question is, do you believe in him as not just a starter but a franchise quarterback, is do you think you can win a Super Bowl with him? Do you think whether or not he can lift up a mediocre team, if you put a really good team around him, is he going to be the one that stops you from winning a Super Bowl? I don't think so. I don't think they think so. I think they believe in him. We're still getting more information all the time. Can he take the next step? They have a vested interest in believing, but I think they do.
Well, listen, you can look at it that way, or I can look at it this way. When Andrew Berry took over, Kevin Stefanski became the head coach. If they were in the position that the previous regime was in a few years ago, would they have taken Baker Mayfield #1 overall? I don't think so. That's how I view it. Certainly you're going to take that position now because he's your guy. You've invested in him. Let's see what he's got. There's nobody definitively out there that you can go and grab, per se. So as a result, you know what? Let's take our chances. Let's see what we've got here. We've been a moribund franchise for the better part of the last 2 decades. We've gone through a lot. We're playing with house money now because we got to, not only did we get to the playoffs, not only did we win a playoff game, we beat the Pittsburgh Steelers in the playoffs. So we're playing with house money right now. I mean, we did a great job last year. So why upset the apple cart? We don't need to do anything differently right now. But in terms of them believing, when that question is asked about the Cleveland Browns, I'm thinking long term. And I don't think that Baker Mayfield has done enough to make you say long term. I think he's done enough for you to say, that's our starting quarterback. Let's see what he's got. Let's put him on the field for us. Let's move forward next season and see where it takes us. You have no problem. None of us have any problem with them showing that kind of faith in him. But in terms of a long-term plan, let's see. Let's see.
Yeah, if he came up if his deal was coming up right now, would you give him a top-of-the-market contract? No, and I think they would expect to give him something less than that, right? But I want to point to a game that I saw where I thought, and I'm sure if I'm seeing it, the Browns are seeing it too, where I thought this is something different about Baker. It was the game against Lamar Jackson and the Ravens. And Lamar comes out, remember he comes out from the locker room and he was having cramps supposedly and all this stuff, and Lamar throws a touchdown strike. And you see Baker on the sideline just nodding like, yep, give me that ball. And he leads them right down the field in response. Now, Lamar Jackson then led them right down the field. They kicked the field goal and won. But Baker Mayfield was going toe-to-toe with Lamar, who's an MVP just last year, who is more talented than almost anyone, Lamar Jackson. And Baker was going toe-to-toe with him. And you could see from the look on the sideline that not only did he believe, but his belief had his team believing. That, to me, was like, and even though they lost the game, was a corner turner for me with Baker in his maturation as a franchise quarterback. These things are in flux. We don't have all the answers and the info on Baker yet, but the signs are looking good right now, and I believe the Browns believe that too.
Thanks for watching ESPN on YouTube. For live streaming, sports, and premium content, subscribe to ESPN+.